You're listening to the Life Purpose Advisor podcast, episode 29.
Part of my intention is to keep all my body parts and to not have any surgeries and to not take any drugs. I'm not taking any drugs since I was 15, since I started getting regular chiropractic care. I'm ready to turn 49 here this week. So that's a big goal.
You're listening to the Life Purpose Advisor podcast.
Life purpose, spirituality, higher calling, personal growth, meaningful life.
We ask the deep questions about living a balanced life of meaning, purpose, and joy.
Passion, know thyself, be mindful, spiritual practice, aha moments, life lessons, balance.
It is time to welcome your host, Angie Swartz.
Dr. Michelle Robin is a practicing chiropractor and the founder of Your Wellness Connection, one of the nation's most successful integrative healing centers. She is an international speaker, a best-selling author, a radio host, and much, much more. Dr. Robin, welcome to the show.
Angie, thanks for having me today.
Oh, it's my great pleasure. I can't wait for you to tell us all about what's going on with your business.
Well, thank you. I love it. I feel like I'm the luckiest girl in the world. I have the best clients I get to work with in a beautiful city and doing work I absolutely love.
And what city are you in?
I'm in Kansas City.
Kansas City, next to Dorothy.
Yes, Dorothy's down the street with her little red shoes, and her dog Toto, but it is a wonderful city. We're gorgeous right now. You know, we come off a high of our baseball team going to the World Series, and, you know, the Kansas Jayhawks are close by with March Madness wrapping up, so it's just great.
Nice. It sounds like a great place to be. They're always the nicest people from the Quad City areas. I've never met anyone there that wasn't just wonderful.
Well, we're a little bit south of there, but I think the Midwest is awesome. So, but you know what? You're in great weather, too, with San Diego. I got a chance to spend some of my early years in San Diego. So San Diego holds a very special place in my heart.
Right. And I just wanted to shout out a little bit to our mutual friend Pam, who introduced us, and to thank her for connecting us. And I know that she'll be out there listening.
Well, Pam is a long-term friend and just a special soul. You know, when you meet people in your life that you go, you know what, I'm going to know them for a very long time. And I feel that way about our friend Pam. She just is a light in the world.
Agree. I couldn't agree more. So can you tell me a little bit about what your Wellness Connection does and how you spend your time?
Well, I spend my time 2 or 3 different ways. What I've been doing the last 23 years is I have a center. It's called Your Wellness Connection, reconnecting you back to the essence of who you already are. You know, I believe that the body has this divine wisdom, innate intelligence that once you remove the interferences, the body starts to heal itself. And so I am serve alongside other practitioners, chiropractors, massage therapists, colon therapists, reflexologists, psychotherapists, acupuncturists, other type of body workers, facialists, nurse practitioners, and we just really we meet people where they're at and try to help them close the gap. There's where people are in their life, and there's where they want to go, and there's a gap in between, and we just as lovingly and as kind as possible help them close that gap.
I wish we were there now. It sounds just really lovely. So I'd like to talk to you today about your own journey and your life purpose. Do you know what your life purpose is?
You know, I do. More and more evident every day, but my purpose is to connect and inspire people back to the essence of who they are. And I believe that's love. So I'm connecting and inspiring them back enough to love themselves so they'll do the things they know they need to do to really live the life they want to live.
And you said you've been doing this for 23 years?
I've been in my own practice 23 years. I had the opportunity to serve with 2 other great chiropractors, one when I was in high school and college, and Dr. John Lakin, and then Dr. Richard Yenny when I was in chiropractic college. And as soon as I graduated, he kind of said, fly. You've done everything you could do in a chiropractic office besides be the doctor, so go be the doctor. So I've been doing that since 1992.
1992. And prior to that, have you ever done any other jobs or professions?
Well, no, I was 25 years old and hung my shingle up. And before that, I was a referee. I've had a couple other businesses. I've always been an entrepreneur. It's I've never been in corporate America, good, bad, or indifferent, but I had a paper route, and I was an umpire and for softball and a volleyball referee and a basketball referee, and wrote a little mini book when I was in chiropractic college. Actually, The Good Entrepreneur, I bought somebody else who wrote the book and tweaked it and then really made it and turned around and sold it. So I've kind of been that entrepreneurial spirit as I look back, but really I've been a chiropractor. I was destined to be a chiropractor.
And how did you know that you were destined?
I don't think I necessarily knew it at the time, but now when I look back on the journey, I'm not sure what else I'd do if I wasn't doing chiropractic. I have other skills, but I just really love to have people get that aha, and they go, oh, gosh, you know what? Wow, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to be healthy. It's not that easy either, but it's not as hard as we think it is if we make the little investments as we go along the way. So Sure, I love that. Were there any things that happened in your life, any aha moments that told you, hey, I think I want to work on people's bones? It's interesting. I got hurt in playing basketball when I was in high school, and my mom took me to the hospital. Nothing was broken, from a small town, and then she took me to the chiropractor. And I happened to know the chiropractor because I taught his kids bowling lessons. I come from a fairly uneducated family. I would say we're upper, lower class growing up. And I wasn't even really thinking about college, Angie. I was just thinking about getting through the day. Got hurt playing sports. Thank God. And my mom took me to the chiropractor. And I don't remember the chiropractor, what he did. For me, chiropractic is, I get the chiropractic lifestyle about people have a subluxation. They have vertebrae that aren't doing the things they should be doing. They're not moving like they should. It creates dis-ease in the body, and it causes the nervous system to not work properly. And that affects the whole system because we live our life through our nervous system. But what I really remember about the chiropractic visit is I remember Dr. Lakin and his wife, Carol Lakin, saying to me, Michelle, you could be anything you want to be. I had not heard those words. And so as they started breathing life into me, I started falling in love. I think I fell more in love with the way I felt. There's that old Maya Angelou saying, it's not what you say, it's how people feel when they're around you. Mm-hmm. And so I fell in love with the way I felt being around them and how they were inspiring me. So, here I am, 30 years later almost. Probably is 30 years later if I think about it.
And would you say that they mentored you, or were just an example of what life could be like?
Oh, for sure they mentored me. I mean, they become my third set of parents. It's taken a village to raise Michelle Robin, and and they are very much a part of that. There's not a day that I'm not aware of the presence in my life. I still talk to them very often. They're people that I will always be grateful for. I'm not sure where I'd be had it not been for them. And I believe that's, for me, how my spirit has worked. There's been people through my life that have showed up at the divine time that I needed a little course correction or I needed a little extra love. And so I could tell you story after story, but my chiropractic journey started because of a basketball injury with this guy named Wes in gym class, and led me to Dr. John's office. Dr. John Lakin and his family are dear friends of mine.
My chiropractor's name is John as well.
Oh.
So maybe maybe your name has to be John or Michelle to be a stellar chiropractor.
Oh, no, there's lots of great chiropractors with different names, but John was a great one.
Tell me about your spiritual beliefs. You mentioned that things just showed up in your life at the divine right time for you. What do you believe?
Well, I'm either fortunate or unfortunate. I was not raised in a church. I'm not sure why. I have 3 stepfathers. So my first stepfather, Arnold, he happened to work in a Catholic school when I lived in San Diego, actually. And so I went to Catholic church some, and there was a nun there. I wish I could remember her name. And she just really was one of those pivotal people in my life who cared about me, and I'm not sure why, but she showed up and must have known that there was trouble in paradise. I've gone to church throughout my whole life at some level. The neighbors would take me to the Baptist church, so I've been to Baptist church, Catholic church, Lutheran church. When I found my home in Kansas City, Unity Village is in Kansas City, and what I really felt when I went to a Unity church, I just felt love. And so for me, my spiritual practice is really love and kindness, and I love to be in any type of church. I feel the energy of the Holy Spirit working through the universe and through me. And so for me, I just believe it's a universal love.
And when you say you feel that, can you describe that a little bit?
Oh, gosh. When you How do I describe it? That's such a great question. Presence. I feel really present. I don't hear the noise of my to-do list. I don't hear the noise of past regrets or worrying about the future. I just feel the presence of something greater than myself that reconnects me back to who I know I really am, which is love.
Very beautiful. Very. Do you feel like that presence speaks to you or gives you nudges into the right direction or away from the wrong direction?
Yes, but not. I don't hear a voice. I'm a word person. If you're around me, I have sayings around me, and so I would say, and it's a feeling. I don't hear things, but I definitely feel the energy of the Spirit in people. I can work on a patient, and if they're really prayed up, I feel it. I feel the difference. Not in a woo-woo way. I'm about as mainstream as you can get. At least I think so. I'm sure my friends would laugh at that statement, but I feel pretty mainstream. I did have a message, however I got it several years ago. It's probably 15, 18 years ago that said, be a bridge. There is people that eat McDonald's every day, and there's people that are strict vegans, very preachy, teachy about lifestyle. I would say I'm a bridge in the middle of that, whether it's about food, whether it's about relationships, whether it's about exercise. I think we live life in the middle. I try to teach people to live in the middle. So the way I listen, but it's I don't actually hear, I see things. So,
and you mentioned you mentioned that you're a word person. Does that have anything to do with how you communicate with something bigger than you? Do you ever see a word pop up in your head or anything like that?
Maybe I'm bulleted. I think I'm too left brain to see it the way that anybody else would think. But I know it's spirit, but I don't know. I can't tell you why. I may get a card in the mail. I may see a book. I may see a posting on Facebook that I go, oh, wow, thank you, Spirit. So probably the same way a lot of people do. I don't have any specialness about it, that I think so anyway.
Right. Well, it sounds pretty special to me. Do you have a daily practice?
My daily practice is kindness. I would love to have a better practice with listing stuff, but I would say that in my perfect day, which I don't get to live as often as I want to, that's one of my goals, is to really have my perfect work day, my perfect non-work day. But in my perfect work day, I actually go run on the treadmill for 12 to 24 minutes, and I tune in to something on podcast, whether it's Joel Osteen or Adam Hamilton, one of the ministers of a Methodist church here, whether it's my Good Life Project with Jonathan Fields, or sometimes it's Dave Ramsey. It is all over the place. You can see where I am, all right, left wing, all over the place. And
good taste. You have some good taste there, in good company with all people that you mentioned.
And so I just listen to them, and I listen to the lessons they're teaching me. Sometimes there's a guest on I really love, and I listen to it, and sometimes not. So that is one of my favorite ways. And then to just really try to be mindful of people and smile at them. You mentioned my radio show, Small Changes, Big Shifts, and I got a chance to interview the head of the mind body at Mayo Clinic, Dr. Amit Sood, and he was amazing about just saying, I have a choice when I'm walking down the street to look at my phone or to look at somebody and bless them. And so I've really been focusing on how do I bless people, and by being present and smiling. So do I sit down and formally meditate? No, I've not evolved that far yet in my life, but I definitely have some practices that I use.
So you mentioned that you run on the treadmill from 12 to 24 minutes. That's an interesting set of numbers. Is that something that you prescribe to others, or that's just your practice?
Yeah, you know what? You can really change your health in 12 minutes. When I tell myself I don't have time, I can find 12 minutes. And then as I get in a role, I'm getting ready to train for a triathlon. I try to do one sprint triathlon a year. It forces me to stay in good enough shape to do it and not look like a total fool, but not in
I'm sure you don't.
And not in crazy shape where I'm hurting myself or becoming addicted to the adrenaline of the workout and thinking I have to do more. So it helps me get 12. I'm thinking, God, I can fit 12 minutes in my life.
I love that. I love that. You might have just changed my life with that statement, and hopefully some other folks that are out there listening. I think we can all find 12 minutes.
Yeah, 12 minutes or 5 minutes. Just get moving. I'm a big Vivo smart person. I love my Garmin. That tells me how many steps I've taken, and she's part of my tribe, and so I know that if I get on there for 12 minutes, I'm going to get about 2,500 steps, and that's a fourth of what I need to get for the day. So it's a great way to get started.
Absolutely.
I do think we need to move throughout the day. So it's a great. It just gives you that boost. It's kind of like reconnecting with your spirit first thing in the morning. I'm grateful. Thank you, God, for a good night's sleep, and that reconnection. And I feel like I'm on the way, drinking my water first thing in the morning, having a good smoothie. All of a sudden, I am putting the OIMF, the odds in my favor, that I'm going to create an amazing day.
I love that. I love that. I'm not a Garmin wearer, but I wear my Fitbit, so I'm going to think of you when I'm getting my 2,500 steps in. And I don't know about you, but I find if I get myself to the elliptical and I'm thinking I'm going to be there for 12 minutes, I'm usually there for longer.
Yeah, that happens. That's maybe sometimes I'll go to 24 or 20. So yeah, you just try to fit it into your life. And I have to tell you, I'm from Kansas City, home of Garmin. So I had a Fitbit for years, but I really felt out of integrity wearing a Fitbit when Garmin's my back door. So that's why I have a Garmin.
Right there. Right, and you must love it.
I do.
Sounds like you do.
I do love it. It's actually fairly new. I've only really had it for about 2 months,
So for people out there that are listening, we both recommend that you get a Garmin or a Fitbit or something like that to keep along with you, whatever you choose or whatever's made in your city, right, Dr. Robin? I want to ask you a little bit more about the physical body. So do you think that how we feel about our physical body or how our physical body feels more appropriately plays a role in igniting our life and our life purpose?
Without a doubt. I think that when you have a headache or backache or you are continually talking to your body about the extra weight you have, that it distracts you from the essence of why you're here. It is the vehicle that we move through life with. So if we have, whether it's foot pain, back pain, digestive distress, we're not able to be present to our purpose.
We're very able to be present to our headache or a backache or whatever is bothering us.
Exactly. We're distracted, and that's what happens is we get distracted by all the noise, whether it's the patterns in our head about shoulda, coulda, woulda, whether it's the pain, whether it's the blood sugar highs and lows. So I do think the physical body plays a part in being able to really tune into your purpose.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I ask you a little bit about money? Do you think money plays a role in what you do? Are you happy with the amount of money that you make?
You know what? That's a discussion every day. I'm so blessed because I feel like I could have made a lot more money. I'm going to tell you, I have wasted more money than I made chasing dreams. But you know what? I seem to have enough to pay my bills. And
chasing dreams. What kind of dreams?
Oh gosh, becoming an author. That's not cheap. People think you write a book to make a lot of money. You write a book to get a stage so that you can share your calling. For me, I am passionate about these small changes people can make that lead to big shifts. And I'm chasing a dream or a calling. It's not even a dream. It's a calling. It's just so inside my bones. I can't quit doing it. Some days I'm like, Michelle, if you would just stay in your practice, I've got a wonderful chiropractic practice. If you would just stay in that and serve your clients instead of chasing this dream, you would be more financially lucrative, more financial abundance. But then again, you know what? I feel like I have enough to get done what I need to get done.
Beautiful. I love that. Since you mentioned becoming an author, I have 2 of your books sitting here in front of me. I have the E Factor, Engage, Energize, and Enrich, 3 Steps to Vibrant Health, and a little booklet that you have here, Engage, a Wellness Lifestyle. You're busy and don't let that stop you. Beautiful covers. Very inspiring to look at them, but I love some of the things that you say also on your YouTube channel about let's make one small change a month. And if you make one small change a month, then at the end of the year, you've made 12 changes. You make everything sound very easy.
It comes into practice, being a one-on-one with people for so many years. You just learn how to chunk it down so they can hear you in a non-judgmental way. So if you can imagine, people start the year thinking, here's the 12 things I'm going to do January 1st. And by January 30th, they've given up, or February 15th, because they feel like they've not done a good job. But if you can imagine embodying one habit and really embracing that, and then adding the next habit the next month and the next habit, all of a sudden you'll really embody these new habits. I've been at this forever. I've been at this for over 30 years, and it's not easy. But, you know, if you watch the people you're around, so Engage, Energize, Enrich, 3 steps to vibrant health, and on the Engage part, it's really about why do you want to be healthy? If you know the why, it's easy to comply. And so I know for me, I really want to be able to be active my entire life. I've watched my mother, who's been obese since I was 4 years old, not be able to get around and do the things she wants to do, and have trouble moving her shoulders to reach above her head and things like that. I don't want to have that experience. And I'm not judging her experience. I'm judging my experience and how do I take better care of myself. So,
of course.
So that's one of my why. The other why is I really feel that I was designed to do the work I'm doing. And once again, when I use the word calling, this is a call. It's just like the phone. It's a phone that rings in my ear all the time and in my heart that I can't hang it up, even if I wanted to.
I surely understand that. I have that same line ringing in my ear too. Once you know what you're supposed to do or what you're here to do, it's undeniable.
It is undeniable. It's just constantly knocking. So we've got that why on that Engage, and I wanted to start with that because then there's the intention. Okay, so part of my intention is to keep all my body parts and to not have any surgeries and to not take any drugs. I'm not taking any drugs since I was 15, since I started getting regular chiropractic care. I'm ready to turn 49 here this week. So as you look at that, that's a big goal, especially doing what I do. It's a very physical job. I actually have a torn shoulder right now, and somebody said to me, they said, "Are you going to have surgery?" I'm like, no, I'm not going to have surgery. If my body parts are hanging out and I get in a bad accident, please take me to medicine because we're great at saving lives. And I want to be able to do this triathlon every year. I want to be able to be 80, 85 years old. I want to be able to be on stage and saying, here's what I've done. I've done these small changes that have led to big shifts day after day with consistency, and here I am. So you find your why, set your intention, you plan a path, you know, once again, finding where you're at and then where you want to go, and you start to think about how am I going to get there, and then you find a tribe. That is so important, to find a tribe so that you could stay true to where you're trying to go.
I love that. I love that. Who's in your tribe?
Oh gosh, I got such a big tribe. My friends are funny. I have my really, really, really tight tribe that I have my tribe that's my fun tribe, my friend Paul and Russ. We travel a lot together. We play cards together. I've got my wellness tribe, my acupuncturist, my chiropractor, my massage therapist, my colon therapist, my personal trainer. I've got a wellness tribe. I've got my girlfriend tribe. I've got my businesswomen tribe. I've got my spiritual tribe. So I have multiple tribes. I'm not lacking for friends. And so I really have to have some discernment so that I can have the quality of time I want to have with them.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Have you ever encountered resistance from friends or family regarding what you're doing with your life?
Remember, I'm a chiropractor.
Right?
And chiropractors, you either love your chiropractor, you're scared to death of chiropractors, or you've been hurt by a chiropractor.
Right.
So, yes, I would say I have resistance every single day.
And how do you deal with that?
I get fired every single day. I handle it better now that I'm almost 50. You know, that helps. When I was 25, I didn't handle it so well. People's lack of knowledge does not change the facts. And the facts are this. The body was designed to be well. I'm going to say that over and over. It's designed to be well. It gets interferences, whether it's the way we think, the way we're moving, the way we're fueling our body, and not getting sleep. And so there's things that needs to be well, and if you can remove those interferences. So I just try to be the best example, Angie. It's really hard to really be confrontational with people. I just try to be an example and live my life the way that I'm encouraging people to do. And I would say if you talk to 10 people in my community, business leaders, they'd say, you know, she's been consistent. She has said the same thing over and over and over, and she's done the same thing over and over and over for a couple decades. So I think on my tombstone, if people had to write, they'd say consistency. I've been consistent.
Well, I think there's probably a lot more to write on your tombstone. But we're not talking about that yet. That's many, many, many years from now. I'm interested to know, since you are doing all of this physical healing, are you a believer of Louise Hays' work and Carolyn Mace's work that emotional issues relate to physical symptoms in the body?
I have Louise Hays' book in my office. one of her little books, a little tiny blue book that talks about Heal Your Body, and it has the spinal vertebrae listed and what causes that. Without a doubt, I know my shoulder is probably, saying, okay, this is a little bit of a shift in direction for me. I'm going to give you more time to have a platform. Without a doubt, I think it's all related. It's like having a great salad. It's hard to have a great salad without, for me, in my opinion, an avocado on it, or without having a salmon or something on it that helps it. I could just eat plain lettuce, but that's only one dimension. So I like to spice it up, and so I'm sure that the shoulder injury is teaching me, and that's one reason why I don't want to go cut on it, because I just need to move through and trust my body. I teach people that your body knows how to heal itself, and I would be in a 5-letter F word. You know what the 5-letter F word is?
Please tell me.
Fraud. So
okay.
If I have this injury, it's the longest I've ever been injured in my entire career. And mind you, I have seen patients for 23, 24 years by the time you count my internship. And I'm not a huge person, and I have some patients that are a little bit bigger than I am. So I've not been as gentle as I could have been on my body. So I'm just listening, and I'm trusting, and I'm doing the things that I teach people to do.
Well, Louise Hays, the book that you mentioned, I believe, You Can Heal Your Life, she also has an app, an iPhone app for the same thing, and it says, not that we're here to analyze your illness, but just for people listening that also might have a shoulder problem, it says the probable cause of a shoulder issue represents our ability to carry out experiences in life joyously. We make life a burden by our attitude. And then she recommends a new thought pattern. I choose to allow all my experiences to be joyous and loving. It sounds like you're on the right track to fix your shoulder quickly.
Well, you know what? I've not even looked at my own shoulder with that, so thank you for that. And I would agree at some level, not my Adam's burdensome. I believe that I do struggle to stay in joy.
Well, we're human. We're all human.
Yeah, it's not struggle to stay in joy. It's sometimes I don't fully appreciate the experience because I'm on to the next experience.
So you're supposed to slow down maybe a little bit.
I'm supposed to maybe slow down and say, gosh, this water tastes really good, instead of just gulping it.
Well, I can't say that I don't relate to that. I think many successful folks have that same ailment going on. But for now, my shoulder's good.
Good.
So can I ask you a lightning round of quick yes or no short answer questions?
You sure can.
Do you think passion and purpose are the same things?
No.
Do you think everybody has a life purpose?
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, how important is following your joy and igniting your life purpose?
9.
Did you ever quit your job to follow your purpose? And do you think somebody needs to quit?
No and yes.
You might be getting the award for the fastest to get through these questions.
Well, I can explain that one a little bit, because I had to right size my life. Sometimes people come into your life and you start following their purpose. Right. And so my practice became somebody else's practice, and I lost my joy in it. And so I had to right size, and I talk about it on my blog on Dr. Michelle Robin. Just type in the search section, right size, and you'll see some of my journey of right sizing my life. And I talk about some of the changes I made in my practice at Your Wellness Connection. So yes, I've shifted but stayed within my own field.
Right. Thank you. What brings you great joy?
Oh, I have wonderful puppies, and they give me great kisses and love. You know what? What gives me probably the greatest joy is watching connection happen. I love to throw my friends in a room. I just had a party, and I invited like 100 people. It's kind of called like a Friday night happy hour.
I don't think that's a happy hour. I think that's like a wedding.
Well, anyhow, it was fun. And I just threw people in a room, and they kind of come in but to see what magic happens, because I'm fortunate. I'm one of these people that I make my living $50 at a time, where some people make it $1,000 at a time or $2,000 at a time, but I make it. So I've got to know a lot of people to really make a living and make a life. And so, and I know all sectors. I've had homeless patients, I have CEO patients, I have millionaire patients. I have this whole spectrum because I'm pretty androgynous. And so I love to throw them all in a room and see what magic happens and what relationships happen. I would say that brings me so much joy.
A born connector. I love it.
I'm a born connector.
If you unexpectedly amassed a good-sized fortune, what would you do differently?
I would syndicate my radio show. Small changes, big shifts.
Anything else? You've got a big fortune there to play with. That's a done deal with your radio show now.
Gosh, what else would I do? I love to give back to community. I love I would create a foundation that would do a bunch of well-being and happiness stuff throughout our world. Yeah, I feel like I travel almost as much as I want to travel, and I'm pretty good at it, so I can do it pretty cheap. I've had a huge house, and that's not me. I really don't like clothes. I like simple. I like black and white. I could wear the same thing about every day. So, I'm a fairly simple person. I want to figure out how do we help the crisis this world's in when it doesn't have to be.
Thank you. What should listeners learn from your life?
Inch by inch, wellness is a cinch.
That's the truth. That's your motto. But is that the truth for your personal life?
My personal life, do the work, heal the pain inside. We all have drama and trauma. And, my story's much like other people. I had 4 fathers by the time I was 17, sexually molested. Grew up relatively poor, worked since I can remember working. And so I think it's just to trust the process. In the end, what matters is love and relationships. So I don't know if that answers your question, but.
Well, thank you for being so transparent about that. I'm sorry that those things happened to you, but it sounds like that those were part of your journey and made you who you are today.
I wouldn't be where I'm at without the good, the bad, and the ugly. And my life is so good. I mean, I don't want to be Pollyannish. I have drama and trauma every single day. But in the scheme of things, we live in America. Sometimes we just need to take a deep breath and go, you know what? We live in America.
We're pretty darn
lucky. We've got clean water. Even if we drink it out of the faucet, it's, is it the best water? Maybe not, but it's tons better than most of the world has.
For sure. Well, I like that you mentioned what's gone on in your life for those folks out there that are listening, seeing how successful you are, and now they know that if those things are in their life as well, then it's not a roadblock. It's just a pause.
It's a setup, and people, it's interesting because of my status. They think, oh gosh, you make a ton of money. I don't make a ton of money. You know what? I make a lot of memories and a lot of relationships, and I get to do some really cool things because of those relationships. I think about, gosh, you know what? I've got $100 in my checking account. How am I going to spend that this time? And so, but it works out. It works out, and unexpectedly I'll get a check in the mail. So do I have it better than a lot of people? I do. I mean, I have a good career. I don't think just because people see the word DR, and I know a lot of DRs, a lot of doctors in the world, and we're common in some levels. Plus we have the $150,000 worth of debt or $200,000 in debt that are coming out now that we have to get through before we can even start really, paying and buying other things.
Right, for sure. If you were going to make a recommendation other than your own books and your own work, a personal growth recommendation for folks out there listening, I know you mentioned that you listen to a lot of podcasts, but are you a book person? Do you have any other resources you'd like to present?
Oh, gosh, yes, I'm a book person. I'm looking at about 8 on my desk behind me. The one I just read on vacation, I just read a couple, The Power of Nice. The Power of Nice, How to Conquer the Business World with Kindness. And I would say it's just around the world, and it's a really small book, but it's a great book. Absolutely love it. The Wellness Prevention Paradigm by my colleague, Dr. James Chestnut, and he talks about eat, move, and thinking. Move, think yourself well. And then I also love Tom Rath's book, Eat, Move, Sleep. I thought he was brilliant. Once again, a really easy read. Those are probably 3 of my favorites right at this moment. But I absolutely love books. I actually have a love affair with books. I love books more than I love clothes.
Good. So how about thank you for those recommendations. How about your own book? Can we get the E Factor on Amazon or any of your other work there?
You can. I actually have 6 books. I've got the E Factor, the one you've mentioned. I've got my first book, Wellness on a Shoestring, 7 Habits for a Healthy Life. Its 5-year anniversary is coming up, June of 2015. Those are my 2, I call them big books. And I've got 4 little books. The little one you talked about, Engage a Wellness Lifestyle. And then I've got one that's from 2 to 7-year-olds. Healthy Habits for Little Ones. And then I've got one, I can't think of the name of it right now, from 8 to 14-year-olds for those tweens and mid-years there. And I've got one for 15 to 21, it's your life. So, and those are little mini kind of pocket wellness books. I think people are getting stuff in bite size now. That's why podcasts are so popular. People just want to plug in, get a few nuggets that they can really use. And so those are my 6 books, and then 4 of them are in Spanish on Amazon.com as well. And then Wellness No Shoestring just got translated, and it should be out here in the next 60 days. And E-Factor's in the middle of getting translated. I think they're great books. I would get the many books just because it's really bite-sized. And then as you want to dive in, you'll hear more of my story in the E-Factor. And in Enrich section, I actually talk about my babysitter when I was in San Diego, Maggie Mountain, who was a rock star. And her family still lives in San Diego. I'll see them when I'm in San Diego coming up. Yeah, they're great books. I think they're easy. They're fun.
Sounds like that you have a book for everybody out there. So we'll put a link to your books in our show notes. But if you're listening out there, she mentioned that you can find all 6 of her books on Amazon.com. And then tell us the best way to connect with you.
Well, Facebook, Dr. Michelle Robin. We're doing some fun stuff as always. We're getting ready to celebrate, our 5-year anniversary for Wellness No Shoestring. We tend to do giveaways on there. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. My website, drmichellerobin.com, it has all the links to my radio shows that I do. So drmichellerobin.com.
Terrific. And do you have, I think we talked beforehand that you have a bonus offer that you'd like to send out to the listeners.
Yes, if you go to drmichellerobin.com/the-e-factor-course, the-e-factor-course, I've got a whole course on Engage, Energize, Enrich. It takes you through some lessons, and it also has some videos of me kind of talking you through it.
Wow, what a great offer. I can't wait to do that myself. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there anything that we haven't covered today that you'd like to mention before we close for the day?
Just thank you for taking time. My gratitude to you for helping share this message. I'm on a mission to reach 1 million people on the planet. 1 billion people on the planet, 1 million people in my own city, to really take a small change that leads to big shifts. So, yes, that would really help me a lot.
Terrific.
So thank you.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you for coming on the show. It's been my pleasure talking with you, and I look forward to meeting you when you're visiting San Diego.
I will look forward to that, too.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Robin.
Thanks so much.
This is Angie Swartz. Before we end our podcast show today, I wanted to just thank you so much for your time and let you know how grateful I am that you're here listening with us. You make all the difference in our programming. We'd love to hear from you. You can stop by our Facebook page at facebook.com/Life Purpose Advisor to give us your feedback about how you like this show and anything related to personal growth or life purpose. We're happy to answer your questions there. We hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon.